friends? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Liad. We're wrapping up week 6, day 3 of my daily painting video series. Well, daily-ish might be more accurate at the moment, because honestly, I haven't been able to get the paintings and the videos out as fast as I'd hoped. I might need to scale things back a bit, but for now, I'm still aiming for 5 videos a week. And hey, if it ends up being 3 like this week, what can I say? At least the videos are free. This week has been all about mastering the use of overpowered colored light. For today's painting, I chose a reference photo where the light vividly colored parts of the model while leaving some of the natural skin tones visible. I wanted to demonstrate how I approach this contrast with the bold colored lights and the more neutral tones. Today's painting is a 9x12 oil painting on ABS. In the previous videos this week, the natural skin tones were completely obliterated by the intense light sources, leaving no trace of the original color. The paintings also tended to be quite dark. For this video, I wanted to present a lighter example. As the painting progresses, you might notice how muted her natural skin tones appear when juxtaposed with the bright, saturated colors. You may also observe that the skin looks different depending on the colors that are next to it. Next to the blue, the skin might appear slightly more yellow, or even shift into the warmer orange spectrum. When placed beside red, however, the skin can take on a gray or bluish tone, giving it a cooler appearance in contrast to the warm red. It doesn't always look the same. There's no consistent way that the color has to look. It is context dependent, and I do adjust the colors throughout the painting process. The key takeaway is that the contrast between the skin and the highly saturated colors can make the skin appear to be a completely different color than it actually is. This phenomenon isn't unique to this image or scenario. We perceive colors and values in relations to the surroundings, which can significantly skew our perception. The point is, if you're working from reference and trying to stay true to it, as I was here, you need to be meticulous when evaluating your colors. Tools like a color checker or something that isolates the color can help you see it without the external influences. If you're working digitally, you can use a color picker as well. I get how obvious, quote-unquote, "be careful and check your colors" might sound because it's always true when dealing with colors. But there are situations, like this one, where our perception is more easily misled, making it even more critical to double check. You might notice that the skin tones and the colored light don't completely blend into each other. This might seem surprising, but from my experience, when the light becomes overwhelmingly intense, this tends to happen. Back when I did more photo retouching, I occasionally worked on green screen removal. If you're unfamiliar with the process, and I promise this ties into the subject, it's a common technique in TV, movies, photo shoots, and online content. A green screen is placed behind the subjects because the uniformed color is easy to digitally select and replace. In one instance, the green screen wasn't just behind the subjects, but also on the floor. This allowed for the green screen to be digitally replaced, allowing for the subjects to be placed in any environment. Everything looked fine at first, all the lighting was good, it looked fine, but as soon as the green screen was removed, you could suddenly see how much the green had permeated the subjects. The bounced light added green into everything. Similarly in painting, extreme lighting doesn't always blend seamlessly with regular skin tones. You have the sections that are extreme and they reflect off of the skin and clearly don't represent the natural skin tone. And then for the rest of the skin, it subtly influences the colors. And because of the bright, saturated lights, you might not notice the more subtle influences on the colors. In today's painting, the two strong lights crossing each other create an interesting interplay of colors in the shadows. For example, there's more blue in the shadow of her nose where the red light casts the shadow, and on her cheek, the red light helps define the cast shadow's shape. Without the light defining its shape, that wouldn't even be a cast shadow, as that is the light source casting the shadow. It's funny because shadow is technically the absence of light, but I often think of it as something that is projected in a way similar to light. Like an object can cast a shadow. Technically, it's the light casting the shadow or defining its shape, but in a way I think of the shadow as being projected. I love all the subtle areas in this painting that reveal how the light moves across the figure. One example is her hair on the left side, where it flows down past her head. The red light isn't blocked by her head anymore, and it catches on the strands. I've talked a lot about color and how our perception of it can be skewed, as well as how it can permeate and affect other colors. It's really important to distinguish whether this is happening in your reference or the real world, or if it's more perceptual, meaning it's essentially happening in your head. You probably don't want to include perceptual color mixing in your painting, because if you stay true to the reference, the viewer will perceive it naturally. Including it might make you struggle and feel like the colors are off, because, well, they would be. That said, this is a painting, not a photo recreation, so if you want to include it or push colors, go for it. If the color is truly permeating the other colors, like in the green screen example, you probably want to include it. For instance, if you were painting the actors with the green screen present and didn't include the green tint affecting all the colors, the actors would feel less grounded in the environment. They might even look cut out or pasted into the scene. As always, if you have a creative reason to adjust the colors, go for it. Anyways, that's all I have for this painting. Next week, I'll dive into a new theme and once again aim for my goal of creating 5 videos and 5 paintings. If it were just one or the other, it'd be no problem, but juggling both is definitely a challenge. That said, just attempting this has led me to produce more paintings and videos overall. So even though I'm not hitting the target perfectly, I'm still way ahead of where I'd be if I weren't trying at all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And if you want to chat more about art, join my community on Discord or follow me on social media. Links are in the description. If today's painting caught your eye, it's available on my website for the special price of $250, so be sure to check that out. Have an amazing weekend, and as always, happy painting.